Chapter 48. Shadows of Vice. The city of Vailor sprawled like a festering wound at the edge of Vailoria's heart, its jagged spires piercing a sky bruised with storm clouds. Its streets teemed with the chaos of a broken society, merchants hawking star-shatter-laced trinkets, their voices hoarse over the din of clanging smiths and wailing street preachers, beggars missing limbs from Krindar's border wars, muttering prayers to Caliph, whores in tattered silks flashing desperate smiles at armored guards. The air reeked of ash, sweat, and the cloying sweetness of diluted star-shatter dens where addicts slumped in doorways, eyes glassy with divine visions or despair. Dylan trudged through the throng, his rune-etched leather armor chafing against bruises, starry scars itching faintly under the weight of grave marrow at his belt. The star shrine's pulse thrummed in the distance, a beacon drawing him south, but hunger gnawed his gut, his last meal, rabbit cooked in the cave, days gone, and his pack empty of potions or supplies. Vailor's market was his only hope. The market square buzzed like a hive, stalls overflowing with blood-red herbs, glowing sap vials and crude blades etched with runes. Dylan's stomach growled as he passed a baker's cart, the scent of coarse bread and roasted meat hitting him like a fist. He patted his pockets, empty, not a single coin from Earth or Erendor. Kaezhul's voice slithered into his mind, smooth and insidious, a velvet blade. Hunger is a cruel master, Star Vessel. Those loaves, those vials, take what you need. Survival demands it. Dylan's jaw tightened, his hand hovering near a stall's edge, where a distracted vendor haggled over a glowing root. Stealing? That's low, even for you, he muttered, anger flaring at the demon's constant prodding. I'm not a thief. There's got to be another way. Kaezhul's chuckle was low, patient, a predator circling. Another way? Look around, Dylan. These merchants hoard while children starve in alleys. The baker grows fat on Althir's coin, his bread priced for nobles, not the broken. Steal and you take from a system that grinds the weak. Refuse and you weaken, useless to the shrine, to your fate. Morality is a luxury, survival is law. Dylan's eyes darted to the crowd, gaunt faces, hollowed by hunger, eyes downcast under the weight of Althir's taxes. The demon's logic cut deep, a cold truth he hated. He'd survived beasts, zombies, betrayals. Starving now felt like surrender. Fine, he growled, voice low, guilt already coiling in his gut, but I'm not proud of it. Kaezhul's satisfaction was palpable, a warm pulse in his mind. Wise choice. Embrace the shadow and it bends to you. I gift you this shadow step, a flicker through darkness unseen by mortal eyes. Use it well. A rush hit Dylan, like cold fire in his veins, his senses sharpening, the world slowing slightly as shadows seemed to beckon. He tested it, stepping toward a fruit stall, his body blurring into a flicker of darkness, reappearing behind a crate unseen. His hand snatched an apple, red, bruised but edible, and slipped a healing potion vial from another cart, its glow dim but potent. At a third stall he grabbed a loaf, shadow stepping past a vendor's gaze, heart pounding with guilt as he tucked the goods into his pack. The act was seamless, Kaezhul's gift, making him a ghost, but each theft burned. Corrosive guilt, flaring, whispering he was no better than the vipers who ruled this city. Pausing in a quieter corner, Dylan bit into the apple, its tartness grounding him. A grizzled tanner, his hands stained with sap, leaned nearby, muttering to a fruit vendor. Althir's taxes bleed us dry, the tanner growled, voice low. Grain goes to nobles' feasts while my kids eat scraps. His divine laws, public burnings for dissenters, star-shatter dens he blesses to keep us dull. The shrine's his altar, but it's our bloody spills. The vendor nodded, her eyes weary. Heard they're snatching kids again, orphans, no one to miss 'em. For rituals, they say, to feed Caliph or worse. Valor's rotting, and Elther's the maggot at its core. Dylan's stomach twisted, the apples souring in his mouth. The tanner's words echoed his coastal town, broken homes, drunks, despair, but magnified, a kingdom crushed under a tyrant's heel. Kaezhul's voice surged, dark and tempting, a velvet pull toward rage. Feel it, Dylan, their pain, your pain. Helther's rot mirrors your world's failures, the weak trampled by the strong. Your scars burn with purpose. You could burn his throne, forge a new order, embrace the shadow, wield its fire, destroy the vipers, claim the shrine's power. Dylan shook his head, anger flaring but tempered by guilt. Number, I'm not you, Kaezhul. I don't want a throne. I want to end this, break the gods' chains, not add new ones. Elther's a bastard, but hate makes me like him, like you. The demon's laugh was cold, persistent. Deny it, but hate is fuel. You see their suffering, children stolen, souls dulled. You're the vessel, marked to shatter or save. Refuse the fire, and it consumes you. Burn them, Dylan, or they burn you. Dylan turned away, shoving the rest of the apple into his pack, the conversation a weight he couldn't shake. He needed a place to rest, to plan his next move toward the Star Shrine. Valor's streets darkened as dusk fell, lamps flaring in windows, casting jagged shadows. He moved toward the city's fringes, seeking a cheap inn or abandoned shack, but a prickle on his neck stopped him, eyes unseen tracking his steps. The crowd thinned, the air growing heavy, and he ducked into a narrow alley, its walls slick with grime, the stench of piss and decay choking. Footsteps scuffled behind, swift and deliberate. Dylan spun, but too late. A wiry figure, cloaked in rags, darted past, yanking grave marrow from his belt with a deft tug. The thief bolted, blade glinting in the dim light, weaving through the alley's twists. Dylan cursed, Kaezhul's gift surging, shadow step kicking in, his body blurring into darkness, reappearing ahead of the thief in a flicker of cold fire. He tackled the man, pinning him against the damp stone, grave marrow clattering to the ground. Dylan snatched it, heart pounding, and ripped the thief's hood back. The man was pathetic, gaunt, no older than 30. Eyes sunken with hunger, clothes patched with filth, hands trembling as he raised them in surrender. "Please," he rasped, voice cracked with desperation. "I's got kids. No food. Thought I could sell it." Kaezhul's voice hissed, sharp and logical. "He's a threat, Dylan. He's seen your blade, your face. End him, quick, clean. A thief today, a betrayer tomorrow. Survival demands no loose ends." Dylan's grip tightened on grave marrow, the blade's curse, whispering murder, visions of blood flickering in his mind. But the thief's eyes, hollow, human, mirrored his own failures, his mother's unanswered pleas. "No," he growled, stepping back, pity drowning hate. "He's just surviving like me. I won't kill for that. He's starving." Kaezhul's tone turned cold, insistent. "Trust is a fool's chain. He'll talk, draw hunters, shadow dragons, Aelther's men. Your mercy invites their blades." Dylan shook his head, sheathing grave marrow, his voice firm. "Then I'll deal with it. Not like this." He tossed the thief a stolen loaf, the man's eyes widening as he clutched it, scrambling away into the dark. The demon's silence was heavy, a disappointed weight, but Dylan moved on, guilt and resolve warring in his chest. The Star Shrine loomed closer, its pulse sinking with his scars, Valor's rot a mirror to his own battles. Hunters trailed him, unseen but felt, and the alley's shadows seemed to watch, Erindor's web tightening around a vessel who refused to break. As night fell fully, Dylan sought shelter, the city's fringes offering a derelict stable near the outskirts, its roof sagging but dry, hay bales mouldy but soft. He slipped inside, barring the door with a broken plank, and collapsed onto the hay, exhaustion claiming him swiftly. The stolen food settled his hunger, but guilt churned. The theft, the thief's desperation, Elther's shadow over it all. Sleep came, but Kaezhul invaded his dreams, the demon snake eyes gleaming in a void of swirling crimson. "Rest, star vessel," Kaezhul purred, his form manifesting, horned, tunic-clad, ram horns curling. "But first, witness my origins, the truth Vaughn would have you see." The dream shifted, pulling Dylan into a cosmic abyss where stars bled like wounds, their light twisting into shadows. He saw Erindor's birth, Calith weaving life from starfire, Vaughn carving voids from the dark. But in the spaces between, where light met shadow, something stirred. Kaezhul's voice narrated intimate and ancient. "I was born from the fracture, Dylan, the first hunger when gods clashed. Vaughn's ambition cracked the veil, and from that rift I emerged, not created, but unraveled, a dream eater spawned from the nightmares of balance lost. I fed on the doubts of mortals, the regrets of heroes, whispering choices that tipped souls toward void. Bound to Vaughn, yet free in shadows, I am the question unanswered, the choice unmade. Visions flashed, Kaezhul as a wisp in ancient battles, coiling into warriors' minds, turning mercy to murder, hope to despair. He whispered to kings like Elther, fanning paranoia into tyranny, to vessels like Dylan, tempting with power cloaked in logic. "I am eternal, boy," Kaezhul hissed. "The shadow in every light, the flaw in every fate. Your scars called me, your hollow heart invited me. Survive, embrace me, or fade forgotten." Dylan awoke with a start, dawn's grey light seeping through cracks disturbed to his core. The dream felt real, Kaezhul's origins no mere tale but a revelation, a being born from God's war, a manipulator of choices feeding on the cracks in souls. Guilt and unease warred within him, the demon's presence heavier, his whispers more insidious. He gathered his pack, slipping from the stable, heading south out of town toward the Star Shrine. As he passed through Valor's waking streets, paranoia crept in, eyes lingering on his face, whispers behind hands. A merchant glanced at his scars, visible at his collar, murmuring to a guard. A child pointed, wide-eyed, before being hushed. Dylan pulled his hood lower, heart racing, feeling exposed, marked, the city's gaze await. "And noticing," he muttered, quickening his pace toward the gates. Kaezhul's voice returned, amused. "Paranoia suits you, boy. Your scars shine, beacons to the faithful, threats to the fearful. Hurry, the path awaits." Dylan fled Valor, the road south stretching toward the Star Shrine, its pulse a hum in his scars. But behind, Jan's Rinso closed in, his shadow dragons a silent storm, while Ver, Zariel, and Liore trailed not far, the web of hunters drawing tight.